Hi everyone. I just wanted to share my thoughts, or at least a contradiction about a conversation I had this week with a former client of mine. So we were just catching up because we said we'd be doing that after he went through the program, going through Christmas Eve, going through the Christmas period, going through the whole year-end thing. And so we thought it'd be a good idea to catch up to see how he was doing. And so we started talking, etc., understanding where he was, what his thinking patterns were, his training regimen was. And then at some point, I was asking him how he was doing in terms of weight, because we both knew that he had to lose weight because that had a negative impact on his knee. He ended up mentioning GLP-1 drug because he said that he spoke with someone who actually has been under this treatment, for who it's been going well. And I think what triggered me was the fact that I do respect his choice overall. After all, it's not my body, it's his. But I think what triggered me was, so I ended up asking him about work. When's the last time you didn't show up for work? And what he proudly answered was, I never didn't not show up for work, and I always wanted to show up for work. So for him, work is a non-negotiable. There's no emotional debate about it. There's no need for motivation. There's no need for hesitation. Why? Because somebody else expects him to do it. There's an external structure. There's an identity attached to this, being professional, being reliable, being useful. However, when you compare this to his health, he was actually treating his health as optional and negotiable. He actually framed his health as something with ups and downs, something that suffers sometimes, something he will address if conditions are met. And this is why I'm sharing this today, because many people are in this situation where they intellectually know what the right path is, but they emotionally bypass it. He actually concluded saying, I know the natural way is far better than the unnatural way. So the fact is that he knows that slow change will be better than taking this drug, that habits do matter, and that also having a sustainable system also matters, because it's something you can rely on throughout your entire life, not just a drug and giving money to big pharma. Yet, this is why I think he's making this decision. It's because he wants, of course, the outcome is less strain on the knee, but also faster weight loss and motivation without any friction. And I think this is not about ignorance, because he obviously has all the data, triathletes, etc. It's about, I think, the inability to consistently follow through on what you set yourself to do. So for me, the contradiction is clear and sharp. This person is able to show up every day for work without needing motivation, yet he doesn't show up for himself unless something external forces the outcome. And I think what astonished me even more is how the price tag he put on his health. Because he really tried to minimize by saying, I only have 35 more years to live. Basically, he discounts future consequences. And so basically, time is short, so therefore the shortcut is justified. And likewise, he's treating symptoms rather than ownership long term. So again, what struck me wasn't the lack of discipline. It was more the infinite discipline when someone else expects him to show up, i.e. work, and almost none when the only person asking is himself. So at work, he would never outsource responsibility. With his body, he's willing to hand it over to a syringe. And that for me is a contradiction. So if you can show up for work every day without motivation, what story are you telling yourself that stops you from doing the same thing for your own body?